To wait, to remain stationary or inactive, to delay, to postpone, to sit or stand until the event has occurred. In the summer of 2011, I found myself waiting with the rest of my family in a hospital room in Atlanta, Georgia, hoping that the best that medicine technology had to offer would save my father's life. Months earlier, I received a call. My father had collapsed, he was in ICU, and he needed an immediate liver transplant. Like most transplant patients, we had to wait. Wait until his condition was so severe, until he was considered the sickest person in the Southeast, and next in line for an available organ. My father had an autoimmune cirrhosis of the liver, and his only remedy was an organ transplant. When I received the call, I was living in Silicon Valley, California, population 3 million. This is the land of Google, Intel, Facebook, Twitter, Autodesk, Cisco, Stanford University, just to name a few. Silicon Valley is considered the world's center of innovation, and for the past decade, I have been working with the community, trying to create positive impact and bring future remedies closer to today. I had access to cutting-edge technologies, companies, and information about the future being built every day. I had access to global thinkers and pioneers in stem cell research, regenerative medicine, and longevity. But what good was all this knowledge when in that waiting room in Georgia, I couldn't move the cure fast enough to help my father? Equipped with knowledge, yet armed with nothing applicable. One hand holding the father that I loved, and the other reaching for the technology that I know exists, that is being built, that is almost within my reach. But today, the best that medicine and science had to offer was to wait. To wait for someone else to die so my father could live. To wait for someone else's loved one, another human being, to donate an organ to replace ours. How do we wait, knowing that groundbreaking advancements in bioengineering and regenerative medicine are just around the corner? My father was born in Honduras, population 7 million. This is a beautiful country of coral reefs, rainforest, where the Mayan civilization once flourished, but it's also one of the poorest countries in the world. And my father was born to this poverty. He got his first pair of shoes when he was in middle school. He was one of 11 children born to my grandmother, who was married off at 15 years old. And for most of her life, she worked washing clothes. But my father tells that she could feed the entire family on rice, beans, and a few tortillas. My grandmother never learned to read or write, but she knew that the ticket out of poverty was education, and she instilled this in all her children. A wisdom that my father took to heart. He excelled in school, became a teacher, and with his first paychecks, took out a mortgage and bought my grandmother her first real home. My father accelerated the process out of poverty for his mother and his siblings. He later went on to learn English, joined the Peace Corps, where he met my mother, a nurse from the United States. He then graduated from Cornell University and UC Davis and returned to Honduras to give back to the country he loved. I also grew up in Honduras, and I saw firsthand the faces of poverty, hunger, violence, and fear. Honduras is a land where the greatest problems of our time are felt every day. But I continued my father's legacy of education, graduating with an anthropology and law degree. And in 2005, I helped negotiate a free trade agreement between the United States, Central America, and the Dominican Republic, known as DR-CAFTA. The goal here, to accelerate communications and relations between international countries. Respect, awareness, all key tools in international diplomacy. But I learned that leading with the heart was the best way to create long-lasting and genuine international partnerships. In 2009, I helped launch and create Singularity University, and as founding architect, I focused to ensure that we are working on real problems being faced by real people. This is a new organization where we bring the best and brightest from around the world and pair them with the experts in artificial intelligence, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology, medicine. And for 10 weeks at NASA, we asked them to leverage entrepreneurship, innovation, design thinking, and exponential technologies to design solutions to positively impact 1 billion people. Technology, connection, and heart, all key elements to solving global grand challenges. And this is where we're going, 3D printing of organs, where instead of ink, it uses cells. Instead of printing words on a piece of paper, it prints human tissue, a 3-dimensional model of the organ you want, the organ you need, personal to you, it fits you, it's ready for you. No more waiting. And the people creating these technologies are already here. Innovators like Dr. Anthony Atala, who printed a kidney on stage at TED 2011. This is here, this is now. Today, anyone of any age, of any background, and any nationality with 20 years of credentials and education, or still in high school, can develop cures for cancer, map the oceans, create synthetic life that takes us to Mars, or create a company to bring together millions of people in seconds. The future is here. It's available but scattered. It exists but not always visible. So what happens in the space between the head, the heart, and a 3D printed liver? For my father, the space between the technology that is and that will be was the difference of life itself. My heart breaking because my mind knows that there's something better. There should be something better, something almost within my reach. On July 13th, 2011, after 3 months of waiting, my father passed away. The man that gave me life, the man that took himself and his family out of poverty, the man that championed education and positive impact, a man of hope and kindness, was gone. Almost was not good enough for my father. Is almost good enough for anyone? And my father did not deserve this exit. He did not deserve months of pain, feeding tubes, breathing tubes, kidney failure, pneumonias, extreme weight loss, inability to move, a 63-year-old man, never to see my children born, my sister married, my brother's children grow up, or celebrate his 45th wedding anniversary with my mother, the woman he loved. An agronomer, a teacher, a gardener, not to feel the sun in a windowless room, not to know if it was night or day. My father did not deserve this kind of waiting. No human being deserves this finale. Today, this is what I have learned. We do not need to wait. The people and the tools already exist. Accelerating the process is not enough. Speed is not enough. We also need connection. We need new and different players, bringing new and different solutions to old problems. And we need to look for these change agents in places we don't traditionally look, in the intersections. We need to bypass formal channels of communication for informal, nonlinear approaches. We need to create collaborations between unlikely players, because it's not what we have to invite, it's what we get to invite. We need new tools for a new world. The models of yesterday may have worked for yesterday, but today is a new day. Why try and fix old models when we can invent new ones? I believe that real success and breakthroughs will come when we all reach our greatest potential, when all of us show up at our highest levels of experience, wisdom. And it's important that all voices are represented at the global arena. And women, we are 50% of the world's population. Today, I am focused on identifying, connecting, and highlighting female game changers from around the world. And finally, it is all personal. Poverty, fear, hunger, suffering, pain, it all has faces, and we have all seen these faces. There is no space between the head and the heart. Both are required at the frontier. Today, this is what I am no longer waiting for. A sense of impatience, a sense of urgency. I have these in abundance now. We can design the world that we want to see. We have the power, the tools, and the people to accelerate and connect the pieces that we need. The risk is to stand still. The risk is to wait passively. This is what I learned from my father. We are the architects of our own future. In 2011, I found myself waiting. But I am not waiting anymore.